When we were Vidyala students, we met a Gursikh here in Birmingham by Harbhajan Singh Saguji from Bibi Jatha. Have you heard about? They've passed away now. And he went to Pai Sahib's house and we had the most amazing time. We asked him, Pai Sahib ji, give us some teachings. You know, you're there. You have achieved your life purpose, becoming one with Vaheguru. He does so much of simran. Like, give us some tips. And he is so full of humility. He goes like, Tinko kya upadesiye jin Guru Nanak deo. Like, what updes can I give you when your guru is Guru Nanak Dev Ji? What else do you need when you have a guru like Guru Nanak Dev Ji? And he's a stroke patient, by the way. He was a stroke patient. And look at the strength, the power of Simran. When we were about to say our goodbyes, we stood up, standing, and we did say, all of us, like us Vidyala students, we are here, for 50 minutes, almost an hour, we stood up doing Simran. And it did not feel like an hour. It felt like 5 minutes. I was like, huh, what, that's it? That was how much ananda you feel when you're in Sangat that you don't feel like ending it. You just want to keep continuing. It is because of Sangat's love that I'm standing here today. Otherwise, you need Sangat's love, Sangat's support, and Guru's kirpa. Then you can do anything in your life. There are 3 pillars of Sikhi. And they all begin with S. Can you identify what they are? Like every Sikh, we need these 3 things in our life. What do you think they are? Seva, Sangat, and Simran. Okay? So we have done Simran, the Gurbani, we have done Seva, and now we're doing Sangat. Now if you were to simplify or to explain what are the importance of these 3 elements, what would you say to someone who's coming new into Sikhi? What does Seva do? What does Simran do? Why is it important for us? So what is Simran really? Why should we do Simran? Anyone here? Okay, so you're connecting to Vaheguru. But what is it going to do for me though? Like in this world, you know, when you do something, you go to a shop and somebody's like, selling something to you, go like, but how is it going to, benefit me? Why is it in for me? Why should I use this? How is it going to change my life? So my question to you, if I'm new to Sikhi, what is Simran going to do to me, Hanji? Okay, calms you and heals you? Reduces your ego? Conscious of your thoughts? Okay, wow, this side of the group is really, whoa, good. Okay, take all your worries away. Hanji. Control your punch, yes. So now I'm going to summarize all of this into one. Okay, so if we look at ego, I've said this analogy before, but I'm not sure, but I'm going to say it again. Ego is basically like the mafia boss. And it's a gang, like you get like, gangs and all. So you have the boss, the mafia, okay? And the mafia has his own like mini workers, the one that goes out and find troubles and, kill people and whatever not. And they are the panchachor, okay? And what panchachor does is they go and attack our indriya, our senses, our eyes, our ears, our nose, our tongue, our skin, our body, our legs, our hands. When we're trying to do bhakti, when we're trying to connect to Vaheguru, that's when ego will say, hey, this person is winning the game of life. You need to do something about this person. And then calm will come and create a thought in your mind and say, hey, open your eyes and look at this person walking by. And if we can't control our mind, if we have no control of our mind, then calm is going to take over and it's just going to pull us back. Okay? What Simran does is, Simran, because of all this panchachor, we create karam. Okay? Do you know what karam is? We create karam because of this panchachor attacking our indriya. Okay? And because our karam gets accumulated, we have got no choice but to come and go in this world. Because we have to pay for the karam. Right? And karam is a form of energy. It's transferred and you have to pay for it. What are you going to do about it? You have to pay for what you have done. Now what Simran does is, if you do Simran, that is your ticket, that is your sword, your talwar, your Sri Sahib to cutting your karam as fast as possible. It's either you pay for it or you do Simran to destroy your karam. Gurbani says, Gur ka shabad kate kot karam. Just by doing Simran, whatever biggest karam that you have done, it just gets destroyed like that. Okay? Which is why the path of doing simran is a bit difficult. You know, it's easy to see simran karo, but the difficult part is doing the simran. Because that's when the mafia boss is like, oh no, this person is getting too Vaheguru, stop him, stop her. Then what seva does is seva makes us humble. Seva helps us to fight the panjachor. Someone's coming, this is what is going to happen. Asi pande putone, and you go like, koi nahi khada the. I'm the only one washing pande. What is this? Where's my group? Where's my jatha? Where's Gurprit Benji, my jatha leader? She's missing. And a hor pande on the. And in your mind, the thought goes like, eh, apne pande nahi to sakde. Why can't they wash their own pande? That's anger right there, but you're doing seva. So when you do seva, it's a lot of communication with yourself, training the mind that, nahi, eh guru di sangat ya, nahi, this is, you need to do the seva, you need to break your ego. Now what Sangat does is, which we're going to talk about today, Sangat helps us to be inspired and motivated to do the difficult, which is simran. You know, kalya to honda nahi, we can't sit down and do alone. I ask you to sit down there, that tusi on a 5 minute ke 5 minute ta ho jane, you can do in 5 minutes. But if I ask you to sit for 2 hours, you go like, oh man, I can't do it, thande ya, my godde dukhde ya. But if I say, hey, jatha 6, budde dal, we're going to sit outside and do simran together as loud as we can, and everybody's pumped up. But it's the same thing, but what has changed? Okay? So we are going to look into the aspect of Sangat today. So why Sangat? Why is Sangat so important? Gurbani says, Jo jaisi Sangat milai, so taiso phal khai. The type of Sangat you keep will determine the lifestyle that you have. And the lifestyle that you have will determine the kind of companions you keep as well. So, if I'm going to tell you an example of my own story, okay? It was in July when I came to UK. And we had this big basics meeting, and everybody from across the globe, all our team members came to UK for that meeting. We were so happy. We have never met each other. We have only communicated through phones, video calls. And we stayed in one house together, and we did Sangat for 10 days. All of us, UK, North America, Australia, Malaysia. We have never met each other. But the moment we came together, we did Sangat, and not just simran like 24 hours. We had pizza together, we went to the museum together, we had fun together, we played games together. And it changed my life. I went back to Malaysia, and I told my husband that I'm so pumped up that I want to, because all the jathe, like the sevadars, we wore bane the whole day. We went to museum, we wore bane. There were gore, chinne, I don't know which comma. They were not interested looking at Victoria and Albert Museum stuff. They came up to us and said, like, can we take pictures with you? I was like, हाँ, आजो अस्सी भी exhibition है, आजो आजो. We just stood there and people just came to take pictures with us. And I was like, whoa, what is this? This is the effect of Sangat that you're in. And I came back and I told my husband, I said, Palvinder Singh, what do you think if I decide to just wear bana every day? He goes like, to dekla, I'm okay, it's fine with me, but are you okay with that? Because of the world, the way we are living in Malaysia, I mean, nobody does that. In UK, you guys are so chardikala. I guess dekla, you're going to get backlash from people. And I was like, no, you know what? I'm so pumped up. And then, without thinking, I did not want to delay this because it's good stuff. I took all my Western kapre, my dresses, my tops, my pants, put it in a bag, and I sent it out to another penji. And that day I went shopping and I made my own bane, and I was so happy to just wear bane every day. And that was just staying with all my brothers and sisters from basics just for 10 days. That's it. And we went back to our own countries. But the effect of Sangat it stays with me until now. So if you go to a club and you say, oh, nay, they are my friends, I'm not going to drink. But you go every day, there's going to be, pehle then, nay, मैं ice water पी लूँगा. Second day, apple juice is fine. Third day, orange juice ठीक है, maybe a little bit of vodka, थोड़ा दो तुपके पा दो अंदर. Then third day, I think no harm's going to come out of this, and you drink the whole bottle of beer. Sangatiya, because you're going to such places. When you come to Gurdwara, when you go to such places, you see people tying the star, and then suddenly you go like, you know what, I want to tie the star as well. And then everybody's so happy to see you tying the star, and you know what, I think I'm going to keep tying the star forever. That's the effect of Sangat. So how many types of Sangat are there? There are 4 types of Sangat. So Sangat, then we have Sadh Sangat, we have Kusangat, and we have Satsangat. So all these terms, they come in Gurbani, okay? And they mean generally the same thing, but they have their different effect, okay? So what are these Sangat? We're going to explain. I will speak about Sangat and Satsangat, and then I'm going to pass on to my husband, who was my Sangat when I was coming into Sikhi. Funny thing is, this is my second basics camp. Can you believe it? I've never attended basics camp as a speaker before. My first basics camp was when I was a camper, a Vidyala student. I did a talk with Mano about gratitude, about forgiveness, and I spoke about my Sangat who pulled me out from my struggles, my negativity, and that was my husband. And then today, I'm doing that talk with him. So, let's go into it. So what is Sangat? Sang means companions. Gat means with these companions, you move forward. So there should not be such thing that with this group of people, you fall backwards. Then that's not your true Sangat anymore. That means that these people, they're not helping you to progress. Okay? Now Sangat, we have this mentality that Sangat are just maybe physical people, group of people that we spend our time with. Campture aage, we do this Sangat, this beautiful time we spend together. I mean, when we go back home and that's it. But Sangat is literally anything and everything that we spend our time with. Social media, your friends on social media, what you watch on social media, how you spend your time reading books, listening to Katha Kirtan, that becomes your Sangat as well. Because whatever that you spend time with to push you forward, to help you progress. Okay? Now, Sat Sangat. Sat means true. Sangat means those same like-minded people that helps you to connect to Paramatma. Gurbani says, how do you recognize Sat Sangat? Satsangat kaisi jani hai, jithe ekko naam vakhani hai. What is Satsangat? That is Satsangat with whom you spend time with, and they inspire you, and they only speak about naam. Now what is naam? Anybody here would like to share? Anything away from the Panchachur? Anything away from Panchachur is basically already Paramatma. There you go, What is naam? The truth, yes, which is Paramatma. What else? Na main. Perfect. Na main. Not me. Which means that there's no ego left anymore. That I am not this person. It's very interesting that if na main, not me, it's not me, then who am I? Main kaun ya phir? What is this existence that is standing in front of you? I mean, it's still a body. But the issue here is if we identify ourselves with this body, that's when ego comes in. Gurbani says, haumai nave naal virod hai, doe na vase ikathai. In this home, this is our home, okay? This is my home, that's your home, that's your home, okay? And within this home, do you know who stays in this home? Vaheguru. Because Gurbani says, har mandar eho sareer hai. This body is the house of Paramatma. But the problem is, we have Paramatma right deep in our heart, and it's trying to show us, ki, hey, main baitha hai the, come and find me. But then, it's all filled up with gandha of haumai, with maya, gandha, panchachor, and we can't see that Paramatma in us. And Gurbani says, ego and naam cannot reside in the same place together. It's basically poison and amrit. So it's either you have naam in you, which is truth, which is a connection with Vaheguru, or you have haumai. That's about it. And haumai is not, you know what haumai is, Sangati? Okay, let's just define these terms. Many a times we get Gurbani Artha wrong because we define terms in the wrong way. So what is haumai? Or what is ego? Is the same word. What is it? Haumai is you identifying yourself with this body, that I am Gurprit Kaur, Pracharak of basics of Sikhi, and I'm here and I'm doing all these things. So basically, whatever your existence is, you're not falling it back on Paramatma. Ki I'm a part of Vaheguruji, and why I'm here, this me is because Vaheguruji has made me like this. Hankar is pride, ki look at me, my bana is much nicer than your bana. Pride, hankar. So haumai is, you are in existence and Vaheguruji is something else somewhere else. Not knowing ki Vaheguruji is in you. If you knew ki Vaheguruji is in you, the way you speak, the way you talk, the way you live your life will be completely different. So satsangat is, if you come into that sangat, all they speak about is the truth. All they speak about is naam. All they want to know is, hey, can you tell me how to get to Vaheguru? Anyone here has raised that question throughout this camp? So far I found 2. One has gone back. I'm not sure if the other one is still here. Has anyone asked, hey, can somebody tell me how to get to Vaheguru? What's the marga, what's the path? And then if you find someone who shares the same thoughts with you, that is satsangat. Then you need to stick with those kind of people. In this world, sad to say, we live in a world where we are people pleasers. We want to please people. What people say, how the society dictates our life. This is social standards, this is the beauty standards, this is the standard for the girls, this is the standard for the boys, and you have to live like this. If not, you are not considered a part of the society. Who says that? Then where is the pantha that Guru Gobind Singh created? What about that pantha? So us Gursikhs, us Sikh, us Khalsa, our job is to defy all that social standards, whatever the society has decided, and say, no, I'm going to follow the path of Guru Gobind Singh Ji. When I took amrit, I was the first female in my city to take amrit. Amrit was a big taboo. किसी को पता ही नहीं थी amrit किया. We only knew how to go to Gurdwara on Sunday, read Asadivar, Kirtan karke, Desha ke gossip, which is a very standard. There used to be a bench exactly like this in my Gurdwara, exactly like this. And they all the buddhiyan, matawaं, bebe, ਸਾਰੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਬਹਿ ਕੇ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਭੈਣੇ ਠੀਕ ਆ ਮੈਂ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਦੱਸਾਂ ਮੇਰੇ ਗੋਡੇ ਦੁਖਦੇ ਆ ਮੈਂ ਕੱਲ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰੇ ਆਉਣਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਪਰ ਇਹ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਏ ਤਾਂ ਮੇਰੇ ਗੁੱਸੇ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਲੜਾਈ ਪੈ ਗਈ. And that's all they do. And you have to wait until they finish their gap shop and go like, Dadi ma chaliye? And go like, haan, chalo, mori, let's go back. That was it. That was Gurdwara. And then until one weekend, a few people came to my city to do a camp. It was a mini camp. And I learned about, whoa, there's a different way to look at Guru Granth Sahib Ji. That is not just a book. It's not just a pothi. It's literally Guru Sahib sitting there, Hazir Nazir. How do you treat Guru Granth Sahib Ji? How do you speak to Guru Granth Sahib Ji? How do you listen to Hukamnama? That's Guru Sahib speaking to you. And they spoke about Amrit. And I'm going like, Amrit? Aakiya? And then I was 16. So I was in Form 4. Basically, how do I explain? 1 year before you sit for IGCSE. Okay? Year 10. Okay? And I told my father, Ki main amrit chakna hai. He goes like, do you even know what that is? I was like, I don't know. But I'm like, whoa, I'm so amazed by just the term and those people that I see who are amritaris that I want to be like them. So I went to the bigger camp and I learned about amrit. And then I remember I was ready to take amrit and my parents go like, nahi shakna hai. And I cried so much that my water tank finished and everybody knew that I was just crying out my eyes out. And I made a promise, ki main on this saal I'll come back and I'll take amrit again. Then I took amrit and I was like, okay, now what? That was my question to Guru Sahib. Now what? I've taken amrit. And I realized I didn't have sangat. No one was like-minded to help me on my journey. Like taking amrit is, yeah, you have already registered in the school of the Guru, but you need to study. You need to buy books. You need to wear the uniform. You need to meet your teachers. You need to meet your friends, hang out with your friends. And I was like, who are my friends though? Main school ch and I'm like all alone. Then I did ardas to Guru Sahib. Look at the kind of ardas you need to do. And I said, Guruji, can you please give me like-minded sangat who helps me to learn more about you, who helps me to connect with you. And then I landed a scholarship, and then I flew to another city, and I found this amazing sangat. And I found this big world of like, whoa, there's this great Gursikhs, there's pothiyan, there's books, there's gurdware, there's seva you can do, shastars you can wear, bade you can wear. And it was a whole new world to me. I started tying the star, and then my grandmother, because they don't know, they're scared. The reason why we don't want to take a step further into Sikhi is we are afraid of the unknown. Ki future cha ki hona hai? And the funny thing is, we don't even know what's going to happen in the next moment. Anybody knows when you're going to die? I always love asking this question. Anybody knows here? Any idea? But basically, we don't know when we're going to die. It's only Guru Sahib knows, you know. So the question is, any moment. So you want to live your every moment as if it's your last. And if you live your life like that, there's not going to be any form of negativity in your life. So my Dadima told me, Tu ta munda badgi, pag ban ke. Let me translate that. You have become a boy. English is Punjabi cha bolna is so much nicer, man. So, tu ta munda badgi tere na bya nahi karna kisi ne. So basically, you become a boy. Nobody's going to marry you. How are you going to find a Singh? And he goes like, koi na. That's like my least of my worries, you know. Then when I found my husband, you know what I did? We flew back to my city, and my Dadima was sitting on the same benches in the Gurdwara, and I walked up to her with my husband in my hand, and I was like, Dadima, eh munda labya mein. I was like, and the other Bibiya, the other Matawa, you know, the one who are like ready for any gossip, was like, ah, kaun hai? And they all realized that, whoa, you know, she stepped on this path, and look at the progress that she has made. Because she just defied the norm of the society. She just defied the world and said, I'm going to do what the Guru tells me to do. And look where we are. You know, all you have to do is take that one step. So satsangat is that. And I was just so inspired. And I guess it is because of Sangat's love that I'm standing here today. Otherwise, you need Sangat's love, Sangat's support, and Guru's kirpa. Then you can do anything in your life. So, what do we do in satsangat? Speak about naam, speak about Paramatma. Oh, that's all you need to do, nothing else. Katha, kirtan that you're doing here, learning and teaching as well. I always believe it's not my job to inspire you. I might be inspiring you, but I want to be inspired by you as well. I look at Seva Singh. The first day I looked at him, I'm going like, whoa. I think, you know what, I have to wear 10 more shastars than he's wearing. This is not fair. You know, I want to wear more shastars than he's wearing. I look at Veer and go like, oh man, main apna dumale da kada bhul gayi. I forgot my dumale da kada. And I look at Veerji doing seva. I was like, what am I doing in my life? My buzurg, my buddhe dal are doing seva in the kitchen, and I'm like loitering around, talking and all that. No, I got to do some seva as well. So I want to be inspired and do vichar of Gurbani. How many of you have got the theme shabad memorized? Only very few. Okay. Let's make a promise that by the end of today, okay, you're not promising me, it's Guru Sahib is everywhere in the room, okay? By the end of today, you have to have the 6 lines memorized. Can we do that? Can you do that? Sat Sri Akal. You have to have these lines memorized. Okay, let's repeat since we are here. Todi Mahalla Panjwa. As loud as you can, okay? You're not doing it for me, you're doing it for yourself. Todi Mahalla Panjwa. Satguru Ayo Saran Tuhari. Mile Sukha. Naam Har Soba. Chinta Laye Hamari. Avarna Suje Duji Thahar. Har Paryo To Dwari. Lekha Chod. Aleke Chute. हम निर्गुण लेहो उबारी सद बखसिंद सदा मेहरवाना सबना दे आधारी नानक दास संत पाछे परियो राख लेहो एह बारी then now protect me. 6 lines. Let's do it, okay? And the happiest person in this camp will be Amandeep Virji. He will be, okay? I'm going to pass on to my husband to speak about sadhu on this Sangat. And he's going to tell you these amazing stories of Gursikhs that he has lived with. And it is because of my husband, I must say, that I am here today. The kind of Sangat you must have is those who inspire you, especially as a woman to do prachar in this world. I must tell you, Sangatji, the amount of backlash, the amount of negativity, the amount of struggles I've gone through just to do prachar from our own sisters, from our own women and Singhs, is so tough. But even if you have one person who can support you and say, "Koi na pehne, you can do it." No, I'm with you. If you're doing the right thing, I'm with you. Just one person, that's all you need. And that was my husband for me. So I'm going to pass it on to him to share with you his sakhiyan, and then we'll see where it goes.
Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. She has actually increased the bar, so I have to keep up to the expectations. But before we go into satsang, Pyari satsang ji, there's one thing I just wanted to share. It's an experience. What do we do in satsang? Speak about naam, katha, kirtan, learn and teach, vichar of Gurbani. There's one thing that probably, this is an experience we had. If you all know, I think pretty sure Gurprit has spoke about it, and it's in a video as well on YouTube. She went through cancer, right? During that whole difficult time, we were looking for support. I remember this very clearly. Before, when we found out about cancer, and then we knew that we had to go for chemotherapy, the first thing I told her is, you have to have some kalana. You have to go through a little bit of difficulties to get Kripa from Maharaj. What we did was, I know it's mad, but 2 of us did 12 kante of Sukhni Sahib da job. It was very tiring for her because she just came back from operation, and we tried doing it for 12 hours. And I told her, I said, it's okay, let's just get it done. At least we have got that kamai, we have got the Kripa from Maharaj to go ahead. It's interesting, we did not tell anybody about this. So there's this particular Sangat that we go into. She was speaking about that Sangat. So it's in Vidyala. I have to acknowledge them. It's called Sant Atar Singh Ji Brahma Vidya Niketan. They are the house that actually propagate the idea of Gurmat, Vidya, and that's where I've got my Vidya from as well. When few of the ladies there, the Matawa who was doing seva, the sevadars, found out about this, they were too kind to actually have Sukhni Sahib da job every week, every weekend. And they used to say, Pota to koi na tu Singh aajo ethe, just bring her Gurprit Kaur there for 12 hours, let her lie down there, and we will do the job. Just ask her to listen. Sangatji was, I remember this, it went on, so that's what, 6 months. 6 months of chemotherapy. Every week for that 6 months, there was Sukhni Sahib, 12 kante of Sukhni Sahib job just for Gurprit Kaur. It's because the love of Sangat. Right? We will cover some topics on that one. I just want to share because that came in my mind. I thought, it'd be good to share because you get support from Sangat as well. Right? It's not just about, Gurbani, learning, talking, etc. You get the support. I'll share one as well later about At Okhan, Satar Okhan Ratan. Yeah. So let's go into Sadh Sangat. So the meaning of Sadh Sangat literally means Sadh, the person who has control their senses and their mind. Now, mind is a durdi galya, right? To control a mind, it's difficult. It's even more difficult for you to control your senses, right? A sadh is a person who has controlled his senses, or she has controlled the senses, and they progressed. And these people, what do? They have become one with Vaheguru. Right? They have become one with Vaheguru. And that's the reason Maharaj says, there's no difference in them. And when you meet a sadh, what you do is, it's like a businessman. If you want to know how to do a proper business, would you ask me? I'm not doing business anyway. Maine pata nahi what's the in and out of it. You wouldn't ask me. If you want to be a good doctor, would you ask me? No. because I'm not a doctor by profession. But if you want to know the mark, or you want to know about medicine, you want to be a good surgeon, for example, you would ask a doctor who has accomplished something in his life. Same way, if you want to walk in the mark of Vaheguru, that one person you need to ask or seek guidance from is a Sadh. They have gone through experiences in their life, right? Things that they have gone through, probably we have that experiences like, I'm stuck here now. How do I progress next? What's the next thing do I know? I think the one thing that we all can agree is, anyone who's starting the mark of Sikhi is, how do I control my mind? That's the one question we all have in our mind. How do I control this mind? So that's why you go into Sadh and you ask them, Pai, what do I do exactly? And it's interesting, Maharaj says, Sadh Sangat ke asra prabhasyo rang lai. It's by the support of Sadh Sangat. Going to the Sadh Sangat, you get the support and you get the love. You have the enthusiasm to actually go towards Vaheguruji. And je ko bachan kamave santan ka so gur prasadi tariye. If a person practices the bachan, the upadesh of a Sadh, so Guru Prasadi Tare. By the kripa of a Guru, the person crosses over this ocean. Now I want to share a Sakhi. This Sakhi is of Bhai Veer Singh ji. How many of you all have heard about Bhai Veer Singh ji? Dr. Veer Singh is also known as Dr. Veer Singh. He's a Sadharan Sikh. When I say Sadharan Sikh, means he's married, he has a family. He is also a writer. But at the same time, he's actually a sant. So the Sakhi goes, one day a lady came to him and said, Bhai Sabji, I've got Maharaj at home, but can you come to my home and have this Sahaj Path da Pog Ponama? So Sahaj Path basically means reading Guru Granth Sahib Ji at your own pace, right? It can take you 1 year, it can take you 6 months, it can take you 40 days. It all depends on the speed, how many ang do you read in a day. So that's called a Sahaj Path, or in olden days it's called Sadharan Path, right? Bhai Veer Singh ji then told this lady, ke, Mai, why don't you do this? Tusi kare chal jo, Path da Pog palo. Just put the Path da Pog, finish the Sahaj Path, just get it done with it. The Bibi kehndi, nahi Bhai Sahib ji, please come home. I want you to come to the home, bless the home. That's what we say, charan pao. Te Bhai Sahib ji kehndi, haan ji, when I have the time, main aa jaunga. So the time passed. 2 years passed by, and this lady has been waiting for 2 years for Bhai Sahib to come to the house. Now, interesting thing that happened was, she thought to herself, ke, I've asked him so many times, benti bahut bari kita, he's not going to come to my house. Chal, main aap Sahaj Path da Pog palu. She thought to herself in English is that she thought, 2 years has passed by. I don't think Bhai Sahib is going to come to the house. I'll just get it done with it. So to give you a context of what's happening in her house, her husband smokes, drinks. She just wanted her husband to change his life. That was her only expectation, that mera husband, he changes his life. Interesting enough, in that same house she had Guru Granth Sahib Ji. In that same house, the husband used to smoke. Now I'm talking, this thing is like 60 years ago, 70 years ago. Jithe Satkar was very less. Nowadays Satkar is a lot. We have, Satkar means, how does it? Respect for Guru Granth Sahib Ji. For example, over here now you have a proper manji for Maharaj. The way we bring Maharaj from Sachkhand to Darbar Sahib is so much of respect. Olden days, I wouldn't say they're poor, but they didn't have that resources to actually give Maharaj that much of satkar. So the husband used to smoke in the home, and Mataji used to have Maharaji Prakash on the other side. And there was only one parda. Parda means there's just a cloth that separates them. And what she did was, she did the Parda Pog. After completing the Parda Pog, after completing it, she's done with it, And she gets down from Maharaj Tabya, and she goes to the back, and the husband says, you know what? I'm going to keep my hair. I'm going to stop smoking. She fell down. She thought to herself, if I have honored that word of Bhai Veer Singh Ji that time 2 years back, my husband would have changed his life 2 years back. I wouldn't need to wait for 2 years. That's the pankti over here. Je ko bachan kamave santan ka, so gur prasadi tariye. Now, we've spoke about this as well. Je tu ta rupan. If you wish to go across this world ocean, Wali ocean, puch tadan kal. How do you swim across this Wali ocean? Maharaji says, ta hukhre sujan. Those people who have actually survived this world, vanyayani kappari, they are wise. Oh, bahut siyane ne. Meaning, these people, Sadh, know how to get across this world. If you don't know how to swim, probably you would drown in the water. So, you know, pata wa ki karna, ki nahi karna chahida. So, I'll go into some more sakhiyan later on. These are some of the very well-known sants that we know in the Panth. Do you know who these are? Of course. Do you know, have you heard about them? Have you read about them? No? Yes? No? Yeah. This is Baba Gurbachan Singh Ji. He is the Mukhi of Taksal, Damdami Taksal, where he preached and he created a lot of granthis, Vidvans. I think one of them you have here in UK now still existing is Gyani Pritam Singh Ji Likhari. Gyani Pritam Singh Likhari was the person who used to write down, whenever Baba Gurbachan Singh Ji used to do katha, he used to write down all the discourse that Babaji was having. Baba Nand Singh Ji, he was the person who headed Nanak Sar, right? And this is by Ranthir Singh Ji. They were the pioneers of Akhand Kirtan Jatha, right? The reason why they're known as Akhand Kirtan is because they sang Kirtan day and night. So we have heard about Ransbai, right? Have you heard about Ransbai? Yeah. Pai Sahib used to have Ransbai, Denasbai, Ransbai. So it's back to back. That's why they are known as Akhand Kirtan Jatha. Now, the question is, what do I get by going to Sadh Sangat? So you get the knowledge about how do I control my mind? How do I get across this world? But there's one thing that we also spoke earlier was you get the support of Sangat. So this Vaar comes in Bhai Gurdas, this Vaar, it's called Hari Chand Te Tara Rani. So Hari Chand is the Raja himself, Tara Rani is the wife. So Tara Rani loves going to Sangat, and she used to go to Sangat without letting her husband know. So secretly, is jande hundi si Sangat de vich. Then one day what happens is I'm just giving you a summary of this. Ki hunda, one day, Hari Chand wakes up and he sees that my wife's not here in the bed. Oh, kithe gayi hai? And he gets up from the bed and he sees the slippers are not there as well. Oh, baar kithe paase gayi hoi si. The next day, what he did was, when the wife was going out, oni chori chupke na, horat rati utke chalya piche taral juwani. She followed the Rani to see where she was going. And he found out that this Rani was going for satsangat. So satsangat vich ki hunde aisa? You do kirtan, hai na? You do kirtan, etc. Te ki hunda? He got surprised that my wife is going for sangat, and I think there's a conspiracy that's going on over there. He thinks that there's something going on, there's an extra relationship that's going on with the wife. So what he did was, ਇੱਥੇ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ, Rani Poti Sangdi Raje Khadi Khadao Nisani. What happens is, Hari Chand takes the chappal of the Rani and he goes back and he thinks to himself that when the Rani comes back, I'm just going to show her and say, where did you go with this chappal? One chappal was with him, the other chappal was in the Sangat. What happens next is when the Rani came out and she saw, Mera to ek hi chappal reh gaya the. Where's the other chappal? And that's where she did aradhana. She asked the Sangat, not asking Sangat, can you please help me? But what she did was she did an ardas benti ke, Maharaj, hey Vaheguru, please help me, meri laaj rakhi. Please keep my honor. Te ki hunda wa, she got another slipper over there and she got those pairs of slipper back to her house. When the Raja saw and thought to himself, "Ke, ek kive enu chappal miliya wa? How did she get the pair of shoes, you know? How did she get it when I have another pair in my hand here?" So, Pyari Sadh Sangat ji, this is the Shakti of Sangat. And like I shared with you earlier as well about Gurprit, a Sangat can do so much for you. Now, what is the phala of doing Sangat? This vichar was shared by Baba Varyam Singh ji. How many of you all know who is Baba Varyam Singh ji? Yeah. So Babaji shared in his katha that one day there was a Brahman. Babaji was walking towards the pend, to Radha Sahib, and he meets this Brahman lying down on the bed. And the Brahman asked him, "Babaji, kiddhar no chale? Where are you going?" And he says, "Asi Radha Sahib no chale ya." And he says, "Oh, you're going to meet Rabbaji." The Brahmin calls Babaji Rabbaji. And Baba Varyam Singh asked him, "Why do you call him Rabbaji?" And he narrates the whole story. He says that ek din ki hoya, he died. When he died, he went to Dharamraj. Te Dharamraj to sare no pata na ki Dharamraj asked him, "What have you done in your life? Tell me something good that you have done in your life." So Dharamraj is that devta who looks into your merits and demerits, and based on that gives you the punishment that you deserve. If you have done a lot of merits in your life, probably you will go through Surga for a certain period of time, and then you return back to this world, right? So that's Dharamraj, the righteous devta. So what happened was, Dharamraj asked this Brahman, "What have you done in your life? Apne zindagi vich ki kitta, changa kam kitta?" And he says, "Main kuch nahi kitta, I've never done anything good." He started thinking to himself, "Main kade sangat vich nahi gaya. I've never done seva in my life. I've not done simran in my life. I've not done nothing good in my life." But for 1 second, the thought came into his mind, "But I've seen a Sant passing by. I've seen a Sant passing by." And when he told Dharamraj, "I've seen this Sant passing by in my pend," do you know what Dharamraj said? "You know what? Let's send you back again." When he came back to his body, he gave the whole land that he had to Baba Ishwar Singh Ji Radha Sahib Wale. Now, just imagine having darshan of a sadh, it saves you from Dharamraj himself. So that's one of the, I would say, the gun of having sadh sangat. Now, how do you meet the Sant? It's of course difficult as well. Sant mile kish suniye kahiye, mile a Sant mast kar rahiye. When you meet a Sant, ask them, talk to them, and get clarifications that you want to get for yourself, right? But if you're going to go there and ask questions like, I'm sorry, I'm just going to say this here. Baba ji or Sant ji, main meat kha lawa, main kirpan 3 foot da pawa, ਜਾਂ 2 foot ਦਾ 3 ਇੰਚੀ ਦਾ ਕਿਦਾਂ ਦਾ ਮੈਂ ਪਾਵਾਂ, ਇਹ ਜੇ ਸਵਾਲ ਨਾ ਪੁੱਛੋ. So remember Baba Harnam Singh ji, Rampur Khera Wale. I think there's a Sakhi tone as well. Baba Harnam Singh ji, there was a Singh who came as a politician, and he came to meet Baba ji. ਤੇ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਸਾਰ ਉਹ ਬਾਬਾ ਜੀ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦਾ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਬਾਬਾ ਜੀ ਫਲਾਣੇ ਨੇ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਕੀਤਾ, ਫਲਾਣੇ ਨੇ ਉਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਕੀਤਾ. Baba ji got mad. But what he did was, Baba ji did not tell him anything at all. Baba ji ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਚੱਲ ਭਾਈ, excuse me, I have to go and get my Sukhmani Sahib done. Right? So do not, when you go there, go with humility, Sadh Sangat ji. Don't go there with the mind of, मैं परख लवान. We have that kind of mind now, कि ये सारा बंदा कि नहीं, is this person right or not? Can I test him out? Don't have that kind of thoughts in your mind. So that's literally a little bit about Sadh Sangat. Now, Kusangat. What's Kusangat? Kusangat literally means, Sangat, Ku means bad, Sangat means your companions. Now, we live in a society where we have to mingle around with people, right? But we need to be aware of where do we draw that line. Where do we go to pubs, for example, like what Penji said earlier, do we go into pubs, etc. Why don't you want to go into a Kusangat? Because duje pai dushta ka vasa paunde fire bo mo pyasa kusangat bahe sada dukh pawe dukho dukh kamaya. Probably that doesn't make sense to you, na? This makes more sense to you. Kabir sakat sang na kijiye duru jaiye paag. When you see a sakat sang, a person who doesn't believe in God, who does something really bad, you don't want to be in their society. Why? Basan karo parsiye to kach lage dag. Example here is you touch a vessel stained with suit jida kala lage hoya na. If you touch that, it's going to come onto your hands. Just being in kusangat, you are brushing off that energy with them. You will get certain amount of energy onto yourself. Okay? So this one Sakhi of Baba Harnam Singh as well. There's this guy, his family gave that boy to Babaji. Reason being was because he couldn't speak, na? And they told Babaji, you know what, Babaji, tusi enano sambhalyo, take care of him. Te ki hunda, Babaji used to teach him ke tu gurmantar pad, repeat gurmantar, Vaheguru, Vaheguru, Vaheguru. Unhe amar shak liya si. Interesting, he was bola, he couldn't repeat Vaheguru properly, but what he used to do was, he used to repeat Vadu, 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 Vadu. He was doing simran, but it's just aswad a little bit, na? When he used to do this simran for so much, he started having riddhiyan siddhiyan. Riddhiyan siddhiyan means you have spiritual powers. What kind of spiritual powers? I'm standing here, I could probably read your mind. I could probably travel from this body to Harmandir Sahib, for example. So he had those kind of spiritual powers. But what happened was, one day, you know, Aam Sangat kehne ke Babaji, you know what, let's update your data. Let's have TV in the data. And somebody actually donated TV to Babaji. Te Babaji kehne, Bhai, you know what, leave this TV away, we don't need this TV, it's not useful for us. Te sevadar kehne, sine Babaji ne rakh lo, kam aoga, kam aoga. It'll be useful someday, that's what they said. Te Babaji kehne, chal rakh lo. Unfortunately, that guy started watching too much of TV. Because watching TV, he totally forgot to do his Gurmantar job. He totally forgot. And Babaji writes in his book as well, that his avastha literally just dropped because of having the sangat of TV. So now, it's interesting, right, if you think about it, we actually have an even bigger, a killer thing in our hand. What's that? What's that? Mobile. Yeah. I always think to myself, Steve Jobs has done something good, but the worst thing he has done is put Kaljuk in our thumbs. You know why? Just with a click of your thumb, you can actually access the whole world. That's interesting. So you don't need to have a TV now. You probably just need to have an iPad or just a phone to access whatever you want to access online. So that's something that we need to be careful from. So this is what I and my wife has. She always tells me now, you sit too much on the phone. I'm like, yeah, are you sure? And what do we compare? Do you know that there's an app in iPhone, you can actually look at the amount of time you've actually spent on your mobile? Do you know that? Yeah. That's the comparison we do. To see who spends more time on the mobile. Yep. So I'll pass it back to Gurprit now.
So thank you for that. I actually went off Instagram for a month and I had to give my editor access to my Instagram account because it was getting too much. Unfortunately, I had to get it back for because I'm here. Anyways, so what were the 4 types of Sangat again? Sangat, Sadh Sangat, satsangat, kusangat, okay? So Sadh means any Mahapurush, Brahmgyani, Santa, and especially here in the UK, you guys are so blessed. You never tell Sakhi of Saguji. When we were Vidyala students, we met a Gursikh here in Birmingham by Harbhajan Singh Saguji from Bibi Nanaki Jatha. Have you heard about? They've passed away now. We went to their house and it was because of him. He came for 1 week after Vidyala. He goes like, I want to meet this Mahapurush, this Mahapurush, this Mahapurush, this person, this person. I was like, kaun hai? And we went on like a Mahapurush tour for that whole 1 week. And he went to Pai Saab's house and we had the most amazing time. You know, we asked him, so exactly what he said. We asked him, Pai Saab ji, or you know, you call Baba ji. we asked him, Pai Sahib Ji, give us some teachings. You know, you're there. You have achieved your life purpose, becoming one with Vaheguru. He does so much of Simran. Like, give us some tips. And he is so full of humility. He goes like, Tinko kya upadesiye jin Guru Nanak deo. Like, what updes can I give you when your Guru is Guru Nanak Dev Ji? What else do you need when you have a Guru like Guru Nanak Dev Ji? And he's a stroke patient, by the way. He was a stroke patient. And look at the strength, the power of Simran. When we were about to say our goodbyes, we stood up, standing, and we did say, all of us, like us Vidyala students, we are here, for 50 minutes, almost an hour, we stood up doing Simran. And it did not feel like an hour. It felt like 5 minutes. I was like, huh, what, that's it? That was how much Ananda you feel when you're in Sangat that you don't feel like ending it. You just want to keep continuing. It's like watching a movie. Lord of the Rings marathon. Anybody's done it before? 3 times. Lord of the Rings marathon, the Hobbit marathon. You're enjoying it so much that you just want to keep on going. And Simran was just like that. And we did Simran so much that Simran remained with us until we came back to Malaysia for more than a year. Chali gaya, chali gaya, chali gaya. And we were in Ananda, and then Kalju came in and just took everything away. Our bhakti is not that much. But anyways, so it's so important to do Sangat of these Gursikhs. And how do you know when you've found a Gursikh or a saint or a Mahapurakh that these are the right people? You know, when you sit next to them, you will feel a certain sort of energy. If you feel chanchal, you feel like, oh man, I'm not feeling at peace, like ki boli jandeya, then maybe it's not meant for you, that Sangat. But when you sit with them and you feel so much ananda, like I just want to listen to them, I just want to sit and do Simran with them, then you are in the right Sangat. So a bit of contemplation on Sangat, because sometimes like there are a few red tapes on Sangat. Let me tell you that as well. Satsangat Satgur Chatsal hai jithar gun sikha. Sangat here right now, it's a school. Okay? Where we learn guna, where we learn virtues, we learn tips. This is our school and classroom where the teacher says like, hey, this is how we're going to get back to Vaheguru. This is what we need to do. And that's Sangat. Now, how do you know you're in the right Sangat? You feel inspired to do Naam Simran. You feel inspired to walk on the path of Sikhi. These Gursikhs that you're with, they are always so in Chardikla, like Kalvirji is so exhausted. Please give him some pyar, give him some massage. But look at him, he's just still going on in the camp. Look at all the sevadars in this camp, they're still going on. Their faces are radiant, they don't feel tired. Physically they're tired, but they're still going on. Chardikla. And these people, they always constantly remember Vaheguru, even if any difficulty comes. You know, our Buzurg, one thing I've learned from them is, any difficulty comes, so this is what we spoke about yesterday, fear, ki darya, okha, things, there's difficulties in our lives, right? You know what they used to say? They said, koi na, Maharaj dekh luga. Don't worry about it, Guru Sahib will take care of everything. Just saying this positive word, don't worry about it, Guru Sahib will take care of everything, it changes your mood. So red tape on Sangat. Sometimes we get attached to just a certain type of Sangat. Sometimes there's high dependency on Sangat that you don't see anything else. Sometimes there could be a cult mentality. Ki, this is just my clique and I do not want to mingle around with other Sangat. Or because I'm Amritari, I'm not going to mix around with non-Amritaris. Because I tie a 3-inch the star or a square the star or whatever, I'm not going to mix around with someone who ties another type of the star. Cult mentality and judgment. Even within the Sangat, we judge. Look at this person, can't even sit down for 5 minutes doing Simran. Look at this person, can't even do but the butterfly flap. You know, this kind of little judgments in Sangat. So Sangat has to be so inclusive. It's a two-way street. Okay? Which means that I must make an effort. So I'm coming new to Sikhi. I must make the effort to walk into Sangat. I can't be like, oh, main jaandi nahi kisse nu, I'm scared, I'm this, I'm that. Unless you don't make the first step into Sangat, which many of you did, I found out that 70% of this camp is all new campus. First time in camp, first time in basics camp. That's you making your effort. Then what happens is, the organization, all the sevadars, Mano, Amadiviji, Kalviji, all the sevadars, they then come forward and grab your hand and go like, look, come, let me take you. Let me show you the way, let me help you. So it's a two-way street. And don't be demotivated by negativity. Sometimes you might feel, okay, maybe this is not meant for me. Look at the positive side, because not everything is perfect. Okay? Organization that we have here, we have to be more welcoming as well. Sometimes individually we feel afraid to take that one step. Then we have no choice that if we are already on the path of Sikhi, and this is what Amandi Viji would say, if you see someone, now this is for you, we have got like 1 day left in camp. If you see someone alone or maybe looking a bit like down or not sure what they, what's happening with them, don't be like, oh, should I approach it? Don't think about it. Just approach them and do something and take their mind off their negativity and make them feel welcome. Now, alone versus Sangat. So what is alone? There's this one book. It's called Siddhartha, and is one of my favorite books that I like to read. In that book, the concept of loneliness and aloneness is perfectly explained. Okay? You can be in a crowd of hundreds and yet feel lonely. Or you can be alone and yet feel that you're in Sangat of hundreds of people. Lonely, when you're lonely, your mind wanders, you feel negative, your thoughts can lead to negative actions, you don't feel like doing anything. If you feel depressed, you have anxiety, suicidal thoughts, all this thing that comes into your mind, especially when you're alone, that's when you're in a battlefield and your mind is winning the game. Okay? At that point, you have no choice, but you have to take that one step and say, sometimes physical action. When your mind is wandering like that, you need to take a physical step of just getting up from the couch, taking a deep breath, doing something, moving, and take your mind off that. And then you come into Sangat. You kind of have to force yourself because it is a battlefield. Communicate your feelings to Sangat. Now, this Sangat that you have here is a non-judgmental platform. No one here judges anybody. Communicate your feelings, especially in your Jatha meetings. How you feel. Did you feel if anything went wrong or you felt out of place? Speak to your Sangat about it. And like Tara Rani Sakhi, when Sangat does an ardas, do you know how powerful Sangat's ardas is? If you have any difficulty, you tell Sangat, ki Sangat ji, can you please help me? Let's do an ardas to Maharaj together to get me out of this. Maharaj can never say no to Sangat. Maharaj can perhaps say no, like, nahi, aani ardas puri karni, like, individually. But when Sangat comes together, Guru Sahib has no choice, but they have to accept it. Guru Arjan Dev Ji, their son, Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji, was meant to marry Chandu's daughter. Rishta ho gaya siga. Okay? Sangat found out that Chandu was a deceit, that he had like some bad plans, and he spoke bad about Guru Arjan Dev Ji. And the Sangat thought, how are we going to tell the Guru that they cannot proceed with this rishta? I mean, they are the Guru. The Sangat, the collective Sangat, wrote a letter to Guru Arjan Dev Ji, and they did a benti, we the Sangat, we are doing a collective benti that you, Guru Sahib Ji, you cannot proceed with this Ananda Karaj. And Guru Sahib agreed with it. Guru Gobind Singh Ji, which is Pacha de Pacha, they can make their own decisions. They're the king. They're Paramatma themselves. But when Sangat came together, Panja Gursikh came together, even then Guru Sahib couldn't say no. Do you think Guru Gobind Singh Ji wanted to leave Chamkaur? Tell me about it. Do you think Guru Gobind Singh Ji wanted to leave Chamkaur? After Baba Ji Singh Ji, Guru just like, oh, I'm going in. And the Singhs, they go like, oh my goodness, if Guruji goes, then we have no one left. The Panth is going to go, Khera is going to go like, it's going to become brittle, it's just going to be destroyed. What will happen if you don't have Guru Gobind Singh Ji? And they remembered the bachan, कि the Sangat is more powerful, collective Sangat is more powerful than one person. The Panj Singh got together and they did, we want to say Benti, but I personally would say they did a hukam to Guru Sahib. And they said, we the Sangat, the Panja, we are telling you, Guru Sahib, you have to leave Chamkaur di Gadi. And Guru Sahib had no choice but to say Sat Bachan. That's the power of Sangat. This book is highly recommended to read, especially for us Bibiyan. Sat Okhya Rata by Bhai Veer Singh Ji. It speaks about the story of Mata Jitto Ji, who goes through 7 difficult nights of her life. First night, she loses her husband. She speaks about, now I'm alone, main kade kalliyan. She had no mood to go into Sangat. When we face difficulties, we have no mood to go into Sangat. Tusi kalo, Benji, Veerji, why do you go to rest? I go like, no, I'm so dukhi, like in your mind, you're so like, what's the point of this life, man? I'm mani jana. You know what happened? This is a perfect example of two-way. Sangat is a two-way street. Because the Sangat of the town knew that Mata Jitto Ji was feeling that way, and she did not come for reras that evening in that town, कि सारे कट्ठे दीवान कर दे सीगे. You know what they did? All of them said, you know what, we are going to do divan in Mata Jitto Ji's house. In my Sabrai Ji's house, Mata Jitto Ji's mother. And they didn't ask for invitation, ki Mai ji assi tuade ghar aa sakde hain, They just came and they knocked on the door, and Mai ji was like, who, kaun aaya hai? I mean, I just lost my husband, like who's here? And she opens the door and she goes like, whoa, sari sangat aa gayi. And they said, Mai ji, we have decided to do divan in your house. I was like, but main prashad nahi bana, I didn't prepare langar. Her thought immediately changed from like being sad and depressed, I've lost. Immediately her thought saying, oh, but I didn't prepare langar. But my house is not ready. I was like, don't worry about it. We just want to do reras and kirtan, and then we're going to go back. Don't worry about anything. And girl was like, chalo, aa gaya, fine. Because she didn't make her way to Sangat. Sangat came to her. And then the second night of her life, she finds out that her daughter passes away. Then again, Sangat comes to her. And then now her thoughts from like, I'm kalli, I'm depressed, I've lost everything in my life. It changes to, oh, you know what? I'm beginning to accept ki sare ne jana hai. Slowly, on the 7th night of her life, from negativity, feeling depressed, anxiety, sad, separation, she was ready ki now hun meri bariya, I'm going to leave this world and become one with Vaheguru. And that was the effect of Sangat. From negativity, and Sangat was like, main thode ghare aake karna hai part. We are going to come in and do part. So don't be afraid if you have to. Don't be afraid if sometimes like Amadi Viji does this. And I appreciate it. Don't be afraid if you just have to go in and give a hug. Or do like a mini race with some of the Sangat and just take them out of their mind. So your social circles that you have now when you go back from the camp, you have to elevate your social circles. You have your friends. I'm not telling you ki hono tusi apne friends chado and just do Sikhi part. I'm not telling you that. But it's your job now to elevate your social circles. If you like going out and having fun, maybe add some Sikhi element to it. Maybe inspire them ki, hey, do you want to do some kirtan at home? Or you want to do reras together? Or you want to meet up and let's go to a Gurdwara or do some seva together. Add some Sikhi element to your social circles. And if all of us have social media, but even your social media can be your Sangat as well. I only have Instagram now, but we have TikTok, we have Instagram, we have Facebook. What else do we have? YouTube, Twitter. What else? Yes, threads and all these things, Hana. Don't be a slave to these things. My benti is you need to use these social media platforms for your benefit. Who do you follow? First thing you see in the morning, someone has a perfect morning, go like, oh, look at my bed, it's such a mess. Look at my house, it's such a mess. That's it. You have already started your day with negativity. But if on your platform, on your social media, you see Kirtan track, you see a post that says, Ransbai Kirtan happening to you, you go, oh, I'm going to go. There's somewhere to go tonight. So who you follow, what do you see? Your YouTube can become your Sangat. If you've got no local Sangat, physical Sangat, YouTube no Sangat banalo. There's so many things on YouTube. So now these are some recommendations of books that you can read, videos that you can watch, resources that you can use to read more about how you can improve your quality of Sikhi lifestyle. So watch Bhai Veer Singh's video of importance of Sangat. What do I lose from not going to Sangat? There's YouTube. Okay, maybe I can send these links to you. How to find like-minded Sangat, which is probably like one of my questions as well. I'm trying to find like-minded Sangat. What you can read is Sadh or Khera by Bhai Veer Singh Ji. I'm pretty sure you can get them from Gurmati Vichar, or if you just type on Google, if it's not on PDF, you can buy it, or vidya.com. Se Kanehiya, From Manmukh to Gurmukh is my first book when I came into Sikhi, I read. Palvinder Singh introduced that to me. In Search of the True Guru. It was a story of Bhai Rama Singh Ji, who was a Hindu, and he became, how he came into Sikhi, how he became a Gursikh, how he became a Gurmukh. He tells the story of how he went to hell, what he saw in hell, what saved him, the Jab Sukhmani Sahib part he used to do, all the miracles, the Khalsa Raj, all these things that he saw is written in his book. If you want to know more about afterlife, death, Taramraj, Jamdood, like Virji mentioned earlier, like what's going to happen after death, you know, what is it, what's the punishment like, what is going to happen to me if I, you know, don't become spiritual, you know, don't walk on the path of Sikhi. What happens if I walk on the path of Sikhi? What's the difference? You can read Bhai Rantir Singh Ji's Undithi Dunya. Can you write that down? Undithi Dunya. It's a very nice book, okay? Otherwise, I think they have audiobooks as well that you can listen to. Okay, so Pula Chukan Dikhima, Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share and subscribe. Please donate and help spread Guruji's message. Link is in the description below. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.